In 2010, fire departments across the U.S. responded to a total of 384,000 home fires. These fires caused $7.5 billion damage each year, killed 2,640 people, and injured another 13,350. That's a death every 169 minutes and an injury every half hour. Here's how to prevent your family from becoming part of that statistic. How home fire spreads. To know how to best escape a fire, you need to think like a fire. You need to know what a fire needs to survive, grow and spread throughout a structure in order to maximize your chances of successful escape. For a fire to start, 3 elements must be present: a heat source to provide the initial catalytic energy, such as spark or cinder, plenty of oxygen, and any sort of combustible as a fuel source. In the U.S., cooking remains the primary source of home fires, and the primary source of fire-related injury. Dropped cigarettes, on the other hand, have been the #1 source of fire-related deaths since 2005. Fun fact: men started 64% of the fires in 2010 and caused nearly double the property damage, $4.8 billion versus $2.7 billion caused by women. Once ignition occurs, a fire will continue to burn and spread as long as it has a continuous supply of fuel and oxygen. It will always spread into cooler areas following the flow of heat, and it doesn't take long for heat to spread. On average, a house fire can raise the interior temperature to over 1,100 degrees Fahrenheit in just 3.5 minutes. Note that your goose is cooked, quite literally, at 350 F, and in 5 minutes, the air in a room can get so hot that everything in it spontaneously combusts, a phenomenon known as flashover. Even if actual flames are not present, that means you and yours are working with roughly a 210-second window of opportunity. You've got to keep your head on a swivel. Fires and people compete for the same vital resource, oxygen. But people are at a disadvantage because a lack of oxygen makes us dumb and sleepy, 2 qualities you really don't need when escaping the flames. The official FEMA Fire Safety Manual explains the effects of a low oxygen environment. 21% oxygen level, normal atmospheric level. 19.5% oxygen level, minimum healthful level. 15 to 19% oxygen level, decreased stamina and coordination. 12 to 14% oxygen level, breathing rate increases with exertion, increase in heart rate, impaired coordination, perception, and judgment. 10 to 12% oxygen level, breathing further increases in rate and depth, lips turn blue. Poor judgment. 8 to 10% oxygen level, mental failure, fainting, unconsciousness, nausea, and vomiting. 6 to 8% oxygen level, fatal after 6 to 8 minutes. 4 to 6% oxygen level, coma in 40 seconds, convulsions, respiration ceases, and death occurs. The lack of oxygen isn't the only gaseous danger you'll face. As fires expand, they generate thick plumes of acrid, toxic black smoke that obscures your vision and wreaks havoc on your lungs. Carbon monoxide, for example, is an odorless and highly stupefying gas, causing mental impairment on par with alcohol intoxication when inhaled in even modest amounts. If you're already asleep when a fire breaks out, spreading CO gas can drop you into such a deep slumber that not even the intense heat of approaching flames will be enough to rouse you. A fire alarm, however, will. In fact, more people die each year from smoke inhalation than do from the actual flames. Get down. There's a silver lining to these clouds of noxious gases. The heat of the fire forces them all to rise, which clears a low area of relatively clean air to breathe near the floor. So, as Arnold Schwarzenegger put it, get down. If you're in bed when the fire alarm sounds, roll out of bed and onto the floor before crawling quickly to your primary exit option. If that option is your bedroom door, which should be closed, check it before you open it by placing the back of your hand against the door itself, the knob, and the crack on the hinged side next to the frame. If any of those points feel warm, bail on that exit strategy and immediately move on to your secondary option. And even if they're cool, brace your shoulder against the door before you twist the handle to prevent the door from blowing open due to air pressure differences on either side. If you need to travel through a smoke-filled room to reach safety, you can further protect yourself from damaging gases by wrapping a piece of cloth around your mouth and nose to help filter larger smoke and soot particulates. Wetting the wrap will add further protection. If you find both your primary and secondary routes cut off, look for a window. If you have to break the pane to open it, smash out the lower corners with a blunt, heavy object, then cover the exposed edges with clothing, bedding or cushions before going through. If you're on the ground floor, toss a few cushions out to help break your landing. If you need to get your family out of a second-story window, lower your kids as far as possible before dropping them to a waiting adult below. Get out and stay out. All your hard work and planning will be for naught if someone is left behind and no one realizes that they are still in danger. That's why you need a designated meeting spot outside the house. It should be safely away from danger but close enough for everyone to reach quickly. If you do realize that someone is missing, do not re-enter the home to look for them. You are not a firefighter. Do not try to do a firefighter's job without a firefighter's equipment, training, or solid steel balls. If you do, the real firefighters will more than likely be pulling two bodies from the ashes. Once everyone is accounted for, get medical attention for anyone that needs it. Look for signs of oxygen deprivation, your 8-year-old is stumbling around like a wee drunkard. Once the fire is under control, ask the firefighters or a neighbor for help notifying your insurance company, emergency contacts, or the Red Cross for emergency lodging.